Let me ask the panel, how useful is something like this to you all as writers? I mean, you're all established in what you're doing. I assume all of you have your own websites. Does everyone have? No?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, that's one use right there. Well, Bill, why don't you jump in? What attracted you?
That was
this?
amazing for me. I had a new book coming out. It came out in December, and about a year before almost, I remember I was contacted by Jane. She told me about this group, and it was kind of a leap of faith.
It's Jane Ganal of Litquick.
Yes, kind of a leap of faith, but I didn't have a website. I wanted to have one. Didn't know where I would start. Didn't know if I had the money to do it. I would have no idea how to build one myself. So I said yes. It exceeded my expectations so far. I can't even tell you. It's such a great setup. It's such a great design. It's so easy to use, and it's just been amazing for me. So I didn't have a website. I probably wouldn't have one now if it weren't for Red Room.
So what specifics do you use it for? Do you refer people to it? Or
I put it on my business card. I also was able to put it on my new book, and they were really good in helping me do that. So it's on the book jacket.
It's on the book itself?
It's on the book jacket, and it was perfect timing because the book came out January 1st, and Red Room was just getting started. So as never before, I was able to get comments from readers especially for this new book. I just had never had that. You know, I'd been writing for years, as I said. I'd meet people at readings occasionally. I was thinking on my way here that about the extent of it was in terms of like comments and association with readers. Maybe once in a while a letter to the editor if I had published something in a magazine. I was like, oh, wow, someone really did read that. Or with my first two books, every now and then someone would go to the trouble of writing a letter to my publisher, which would then get forwarded to me. So maybe occasionally a letter. But now people are able to send me emails through the website. And from all over. I just got an email the other day from someone in Australia. It was an anatomist who read my book, and he had very nice things to say about it, but then he had to tell me that he found a tiny, tiny little anatomical error. And I was grateful to get it, because it was very small, but I will correct it for the paperback.
And everyone here on this panel has things that they just want to say directly to the people who understand them, want to hear them, need to know. And Red Room provides definitely a forum for them to do that and to do it in their own words, their way. But it also, for more established writers, in the case of Bill, I know Bill wrote an amazing personal essay that just doesn't fit within the way he writes for money for publication in general, but it was so touching and moving and a whole other side. Maybe.
That was so unexpected for me, though, with having a website and being on Red Room. I had written this essay. It was called The Upside of Grief, and it dealt very personally, very nakedly with the sudden death of my longtime partner and the aftermath. And I wrote it just purely out of my heart. And I did try to get it published. I don't know if I've told you this. So I like what you said about disrupting the chain, because I thought it was worthy. And I sent it to various places. It got rejected. It was almost like it was too intimate. And I was frustrated. You know, I wanted to publish it. And honestly, one day I just woke up and I thought, God, I could just put it on my website. It just didn't even occur to me before. And I hadn't been doing any blogging. I guess lone wolves don't do a lot of blogging, maybe. So I just woke up, and it was almost kind of scary and kind of exciting at the same time, because I just, did the little, just like Jennifer instructed me how to do it. And suddenly it was on my blog, and there it was. And honestly, by the end of the day, I was getting comments from readers about this essay, people responding to the personal sentiments and the situation I had found myself in, other people who had lost partners or spouses, and it started this whole conversation. And then, like Peter and I were talking about, then I started thinking, well, I do have other pieces I could put up. And so I've used my blog less to do blogging, per se, as to publish pieces that maybe wouldn't fit anywhere else.
I reread it this morning, and I brought it. Do I have
no way.
Do I have your permission to just read the last page? Could I do that?
I don't know if there's time
just
for
the
that.
last little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to forget. I remember telling Dave, the beautiful tattooed man I met at the gym, I don't want to forget what I've learned from this whole
experience from Steve dying, everything, and I don't want to forget what I saw. I pause, picturing Steve's final moments. As horrifying as it was, I want to remember, death is not easy or peaceful, but it can be so quick. Dave nodded. As a night nurse in an ICU unit at a local hospital, he had seen many people die. He knew exactly what I was talking about. I refilled our coffee cups and sat down next to Dave on the couch. There's something that's been bothering me, I said. Can I ask you a question? A medical question. Shoot, he said in his laconic way. First, I described the clinical details of Steve's death, how it had started with a freak episode of cardiac arrhythmia. His heart had skipped a few beats as he slept, which led to respiratory arrest, then cardiac arrest. I was still confused about something, though I admitted I don't understand why the death certificate lists respiratory arrest as the official cause of death, not cardiac arrest. Dave shrugged his shoulders. Doesn't matter what you call it, cardiac arrest, respiratory arrest, heart failure, whatever. What it comes down to is it's failure to live. A failure to live. Isn't that the most amazing phrase? It took my breath away when Dave said it. Somehow it opened up an entirely new view for me. What is death? Death is failure to live. And what is the flip side to that? I immediately thought to myself, what is a life unlived, a life devoid of love and joy and, yes, grief and heartbreak? Death. I hope never to meet that fate. Today is my birthday, and that is my birthday wish.
Very nice.
And that's
Very
Red
nice.
Room.
What can authors and others do to maximize effectiveness of redroom.com for each other and for Red Room Writers Society?
The thing I love about it is that it's so well designed, and yet the page is yours. It is your room. It is your. To me, it feels almost like a storefront. So my advice is make it as much yours as you can. I mean, it's actually taken me a while to get to that place. Like the morning that I suddenly realized I could post my essay on my blog, and just experimenting. Putting up podcasts of interviews. They now have this image gallery, which is great. I take photographs as well. So I put some of my photography on my site. It just became more and more personal, and I became more actively involved, and then readers and visitors to my Red Room page got more involved. I think that's my best advice.